Hi, this is Shannon. I hope you are having a lovely spring and getting excited for Easter coming up soon. I wanted to share with you a couple Easter activities and traditions that we have in our family that I think work really well, and I hope will give you some good ideas as we approach Easter as a way to make it fun for our kids and memorable and help them learn about Jesus' death and resurrection. If you are new to my channel, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, 5, 3, and 1, and we do classical homeschooling and love it. And I have the privilege of tutoring the obesitarians, so that's the 4 through 7-year-olds, and I have been just loving that this year. So make sure you check out those videos if you are a tutor. I know we probably only have a couple weeks left, but I have videos through the end of the year, so check those out if you haven't already. And I am just passionate about homeschooling and healthy living. The first thing I want to share is I read to my kids from this Bible. It's the Complete Illustrated Children's Bible. I've shared this before. I love this Bible. It's beautiful, beautiful illustrations, accurate, just I think a really great mix of simplifying the Bible for young kids, but also not being cartoony like some kids' Bibles tend to be. So I start with the story of Jesus entering Jerusalem on a donkey. Then I read different stories after that, including the Good Supper, when Jesus prays in the Garden of Gethsemane, and then when he's arrested, dies, and rises again. So I have in my blog post that I will link in the description of this video the specific stories I read for 10 days. I feel like 10 days is a good span of time for us to kind of specifically talk about Easter each morning until Easter is here. I also wanted to share these coloring books that I made for my kids to help them just dive deeper into the Easter story, and I would love to share them with you too. I also included helping verbs in these. I'll show you in a minute, just because we've been learning about helping verbs this year, and I just thought it would be a good way to review those at the same time. So the first page has all the helping verbs we've done this year. Then there's 10 different coloring pages. So this one my daughter colored this morning, Jesus entering Jerusalem, and then she filled in the helping verb will. There's the Lord's Supper, and then there's a sentence below where the kids will fill in the appropriate helping verb. Here's Jesus washes their feet. Also, I have the title of each page in dots so the kids can trace, just to give them some handwriting practice. So it goes all the way through. The last one is a stranger on the road. So again, 10 different coloring pages. I also made one for a little bit older kids that has more detailed coloring pages. So same sentences, but the illustrations that they can color, show you another one, are just a little bit more detailed. So you can download these for free. I will link my blog post where they are in the description below, and use them with your kids if you think that would be helpful. Just a fun way to dive deeper into Easter and just specifically talk about one of the events leading up to Jesus's death and resurrection, and also review helping verbs at the same time. So I read my kids a story from the Bible and then let them color the corresponding story in their coloring page. We've also done this activity for several years. It's really fun. Resurrection eggs. So you've probably heard of this. If you haven't, you should check it out. This is what the box looks like. But it comes with these eggs. They're just plastic eggs, and we've opened these 2 so far. Each egg has a little object inside. So this one has the cup that Jesus drank from. So I would read the story of the Last Supper, and they would open this egg. I just leave them on the kitchen table, and they get really excited to open them at breakfast time. You could also hide them around too. This one has a donkey inside it. We read about Jesus's entrance into Jerusalem on a donkey and opened that one. So just another fun way to dive deeper into the different stories. So sometimes I have my kids open 1, sometimes 2, depending on what day we're on. And I will link those below too if you want to check them out. they're just a really simple way to just make it fun for the kids and talk more about the true meaning of Easter. I also wanted to share with you some of our favorite Easter-themed picture books. Obviously, there's lots of picture books about Easter eggs and Easter bunnies and stuff like that. I like to focus on the books that teach us more about what the true meaning is and about Jesus. So first, we love this book, The Very First Easter. It's a Berenstain Bear book. It talks about the true meaning of Easter and why we celebrate Easter. So great book, especially if your kids love the Berenstain Bears. We also have this, the Easter Treasury. So this has several different Easter stories in it, and they're all about the true meaning of Easter. So another great resource. I love these books. So we have the Christmas one, and this is God Gave Us Easter. It's a really sweet story explaining the true meaning of Easter and what God did, sending his son, and what it means that Jesus died and was raised again. Then this book we got new this year, and it's fabulous. So it starts in the Garden of Eden and just lays out theological concepts in a way that kids can understand. Really, really good. Highly recommend. We've also been enjoying this book, Patook, the Rooster Who Met Jesus. Another great introduction to kids of the true meaning of Easter. And we love this book. It's called The Story of Passover. And it's just a really good kid-friendly retelling of the Passover and just connecting the Passover and the Easter story. So another one I recommend. I have a couple more too that I will put in my blog posts as well that are really good. So I just love reading these books with my kids through the Easter season. They spark really good conversations and just another way to help my kids understand the true meaning of Easter and what Jesus did for us. So I wanted to share those. I will link those below too if you want to check them out. The last thing I wanted to share is we made these little Easter egg gummy snacks. So I have made gummy snacks for my kids for a while now. I don't make them all the time, but it's fun just as an occasional treat, especially instead of buying the gummy snacks from the store. I used to buy those all the time. And then I realized I can make my own. So we've made gummy bears, we made Valentine hearts, and now I'm making these little Easter egg shaped ones for my kids. So they're literally just 100% juice. I used cherry juice this time, and gelatin, and beef gelatin, and a little bit of honey. And they come out great. They pop out of the silicone molds great. They taste great. They're good toughness. They're not too tough, but they don't just fall apart. So just a fun little treat. I don't want to buy the sugary processed Easter snacks for my kids. So this just gives them a little treat. It's fun because it's Easter egg shaped, and it's not bad for them to have a little bit of 100% juice. The gelatin's really good with the collagen and a little bit of raw honey. I will link the recipe I have for these below if you want to try them. They're super easy. They just take a few minutes to make, and then you just let them sit in the mold for like an hour or so. Super easy, and my kids love them, and another Easter treat idea option. Since this video is about Easter things, I wanted to show you too, I made this memory work review game that's Candyland style game, and it's Easter themed, so it's called Memory Work Meadowland. And I have these cards that go with it, so kids could get a card that's an object, and then they find the matching object on the board, or a color just like Candyland, and then each color represents a subject from the memory work, so history, geography, timeline, etc. And they get to answer a review question of the certain subject that they landed on. So just a fun way to review the memory work, especially as we are getting close to the end of this year. And you could use this for any cycle, so it's not cycle specific. It would work for any year. So I wanted to show you that. I will link that below. Also, if you are a tutor, or you can just use this at home too, but I made this rotten egg review game with these little Easter eggs. So on the back, they have a point value, either positive, or these are all positive. Let's find a negative one, or negative, and the negative ones are rotten eggs. So what I do in our community group with my little class that I tutor is I put this up on the wall, and then I put Easter eggs all around it so they can't see the number on the back. And then I divide the group into teams, and they get to answer a review question, and if they get it right, they get to come take an egg off the wall and see if it's a rotten one or not. And if it's rotten, then they get a negative point value. If it's not rotten, like this one, then they get a positive point value for their team. And they love this game. This is like the Stinky Feet game, same idea. I made one for Valentine's Day called Love Bug. So this is free on my blog if you want to use it, especially as we are getting close to Easter. If you are a tutor, or you can just play it at home too. It's a great review game. I will link it below as well. Again, I will link the coloring books I made so you can download those for free if you want, as well as everything else I talked about. I hope this just gives you some ideas to make Easter fun and meaningful with your kids this year. Let me know if you have any questions, and comment below if you have some other things you do with your kids around Easter time to make it meaningful. I would love to hear. It's fun to share ideas and to learn from other parents. So if you're enjoying my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I post at least one video per week about homeschool or health related things. I plan to continue posting videos throughout the summer, so subscribe so you don't miss one, and check out my Instagram. I like to post what we do homeschool-wise throughout the week. And check out my blog where I have lots of great resources to help with homeschooling and healthy recipes too. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.